Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. As some of you know, a gauntlet has been thrown down. Actually, 2 gauntlets, but we'll get to the second one a little bit later. The so-called Stash Queen has declared that she is more of a Texan than I am. As you know, this is unacceptable. This is just not the case. Now, I have plans for a full-scale attack. So think of this as merely an appetizer of the epic battle that is which to come. You see, she challenged that because she got the Dr. Pepper in glass bottles, that made her more of a Texan. However, a true Texan knows that, yes, the glass bottle is the way to go. But a real Texan gets the can as well. For travel. For lunch boxes. Or because they are slightly easier to find. But she only has the glass bottles. And I ask you, is this Queen really the true Texan here? The battle is coming. And I, yes, I, the Coffee Stitcher, will win. You can count on it. Alright, so that part's out of the way. How's everybody doing? Alright. This is actually like my 4th attempt at the video. I did this yesterday, and I think because I was showing off too many logo things that they were like, no, you're gonna do it, blah, 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 blah. And it wouldn't stop processing. So we're going to try it again this way. I tried to limit the exposure, and I'm going to try to cover the labels. Which I realize kind of makes me look a bit like a wino. Take that, trademark police. Anyhow. So, how is everybody doing? As I said, there was a second gauntlet thrown down by Miss Jessie Marie. But I'll address that towards the end of the video. In fact, I actually wrote out, because when I did it yesterday, I realized I forgot something, so I wanted to make sure I had it all here. This has been kind of a weird few days. Alright, so my response to Miss Jessie Marie is coming. It's less ominous and threatening than my message to the Stash Queen. Sort of a little bit of exciting news. There's a male stitcher out there who doesn't do floss tube videos named Chase, who has created a new Facebook group, and I guess it's a company. I don't know if he's intending to sell his designs. I don't quite know what the business model is yet for it. But he's doing this really awesome thing. Especially for those of you who really like mandalas, ink circles. It's in that sort of style. It's called Stitchery. And it combines history and cross-stitch in one pool of awesome. He's got a freebie up the first, he's going to do it in sort of themed sections. So the first theme is the Aztecs. He's got a freebie on the Facebook group, which I will link below, that actually looks, as someone who's not normally a mandala person, it looks really cool. And I really like the colors in it. Like, I'm really tempted to do this. So he's going to do that, and he's going to do these things called Stitchinars, which is a portmanteau. He's done 2 portmanteaus, and I love me some portmanteaus. It's a portmanteau of Stitch, Seminar, Stitchinar. And his plan is to do, there'll be longer projects, I'm assuming, sort of and I may be wrong here, so if I am, please correct me. It sounds like it's going to be sort of Shuttle Lane-esque, where you'll get different parts, they'll be bigger, and there'll be even more history involved. So it's pretty cool. He's getting a degree in, I think, linguistics, which makes sense. His Instagram tag is Stitcher Linguist. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. And his first chart is a freebie. It's all in turquoise. So definitely check it out because it's pretty awesome. So there's that. Alright, a little bit of haul. It's Friday. I was really expecting, because the Stash Queen got her Dragonfly Lotus, but the last 2 days, quite literally, like, it's been one of those mail days where there's, like, Valpak, and, you know, random business card, and, like, a bill, and that's it. So, God only knows. God only knows. So I don't have a whole lot to show. I did get one chart that just sort of magically was enabled to me by the Tattooed Stitcher. It's Longfellow's Round Tower by Tempting Tangles Designs. Deborah A. Dick is the designer. Her website is temptingtangles.com, and I actually bought this from her off of Etsy. It's inspired by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's classic 1859 poem, The Children's Hour. So here it is. It's got a castle and a moon and a tree and a well and a lot of specialty stitches. And it says, I have you fast in my fortress and will not let you depart, but put you down into the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. And there I will keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the wall shall crumble to ruin and molder in dust away. I really liked it. I'm not a tremendous poetry fan. I love me some Dr. Seuss, and yes, that is poetry. I love me some Edward Gorey, and I really do love Longfellow. Evangeline, I think I was the only person in my 7th grade class that absolutely flipped over Evangeline. I loved that thing. And I was in an on-level class, and it was really funny because my teacher, who should have known by February that I could read it on my own and completely comprehend it, but I wasn't following along in class as she was reading aloud, and she got a little short with me, and I repeated to her exactly where I was, what was going on, and, you know, several other major things, and then she just sort of left me alone. And it's funny because she was actually one of my favorite teachers. That was also the class that we read Flowers for Algernon in, and that was the first book that ever made me cry. Unfortunately, it was in class that it made me cry, and that did not help my reputation any. Well, that was a tangent. But Flowers for Algernon is still my favorite book. Anyhow, so that was part of why it appealed to me. It's got its specialty stitches. It's all DMC. It's done on linen. Oh no, it was charted on even weave, but I'll be doing it on linen because even weave scares me. I don't understand it. Not really. I do understand it. I just have never... I like the unevenness of linen, which technically, linen and even weave, there really isn't a difference in terms of the fact that really they're all going to both evenly woven. It's just because they're all like a set number of squares. It's that some strands are thicker and some are thinner on, or have the potential to be on linen, where they won't be on even weave. But, so like an uneven weave would be something like polyester, which really that's just unnatural. So, there you go. Yes. So I got that. And ridiculously fast shipping. It got from Idaho to Texas in 2 days. Yeah. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Let's see. Then, oops, that's coming later in the video. I'm not as organized as I thought I was going to be. I tried. I failed. Go me. Bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba da 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 dum. Fortunately, it's all right here. Okay. So, first, I got from the very lovely Patricia Gibson 2 needle minders. She found somewhere, I don't know where, Disney pinback buttons with the villains on them. And so she sent me Ursula, because Ursula is my favorite. She is. I just love, well, okay, there are several things I love about her. The fact that, A, she's just deliciously evil and campy. The fact that she's based off of Divine, who, while I'm not a tremendous Divine fan, I love that there's a bad guy based off of a professional drag queen. And originally was going to be voiced by B. Arthur. And then they went with Pat Carroll, which I love, and I think, honestly, was a better choice. But there's just so much awesomeness to Ursula. And I think my absolute favorite part of all of Ursula, really and truly, is that she was heavy and loved it. Felt no shame. I mean, she is phenomenal. And then she sent me a top hat needle minder that has, and I don't know how well it's showing up, it's got engraved into it a pocket watch. So it's very Alice in Wonderlandy, because she said that reminded her of me, which I thought was very, very flattering. So thank you, Patricia. I really like them. Alright, then I got 2 fabrics. Both of them are opal. I didn't realize they were both going to be opal, but that's okay. They're from Under the Sea Fabrics. A friend was destashing, so I got them from her. This one is called Vampiric. It's pinks and... It's showing up purple on there, and it's kind of purpley. But it's more of a dark, winey purple, and less of a blue purple. But it's very, very pretty. I don't have any idea what I will stitch on it. If it wasn't opalescence, I would almost do the Raven Queen. Almost. But I think Lourdes is dyeing one called Jack-O-Lantern, or something along the lines of Jack-O-Lantern, that's gorgeous. And then I got this one, which I knew was going to be opalescent. It's called Ghoulish. And it's different shades of green. So... Alright, so that's the new stuff. Moving right along, we have a finish. There it is. It's the By the Bay, Home by the Sea. I took out the flowers because they seemed a little ersatz to me. But there it is. This was a lot of fun to stitch. I had a blast. I'm looking forward to doing more By the Bay stuff. And I'm intending this will go to my grandmother as a housewarming present. I just have to get a frame for it, which I will probably do today or tomorrow. Depends on how I'm feeling. So yeah. Yay for finishes. Alright, so this last week, my Wine and Whips project was fairy tales, again, because I worked on other things that weren't fairy tales. And my Shuttle Lane was my primary one. I got a fair amount done on fairy tales. I've just got some background stitching, really, and it'll be finished. Or at least I'll be at a page finish, I should say, not the entire project. That would be ridiculously fast. So this section was Snow White, here in the middle. It took me forever to figure out what this dwarf here is doing. He's squatting, because there's an apple in his hand. So he's squatting down to pick up an apple. It took me forever to figure out what he was doing. On The Wicked Witch, I used the Globo rayon that Jerry sent me, because I liked its shininess, and I think it looked really good, and I actually used 3-ply instead of 2. And then the yellow skirt for Snow is Silk Butter from, the Silk Mill, or not Silk Butter, Rich Butter from the Silk Mill. So all I've got left is the grass behind their heads, Here we go. That did not... That was what I wanted to do. The pond and then some yellow bricks. And here is what I've done so far across the board on the project. Ta-da! All right. So this week, I had some trouble. I was struggling. Oh, whoops, the Shuttle Lane. First off, I hate black work. We're just going to say that now. But here's what I've got done. I've got the outer frame. All of the cross stitch and specialty stitches are done. I'm doing the back stitch and the black work now. And I'll be working an hour a day on this project this week. Because I think about an hour of black work is all I can really handle for a day. So that's where we're at on that. I'm having a blast with it in general, but the dark blue fabric, I really need to work on it earlier in the day, because as it gets on and towards night, I start to get some eye strain, which is not enjoyable. Not enjoyable at all. And then my main focus project is going to be Paradise Lost, because it was what was calling to me the hardest. So I did a little work last night. I got the TH done and more blue. So I'm going to go this way on the banner, and then I'm going to come back and go this way. And the middle section has that thou, and it starts, I want to say it's like, is it that thou hast? I think that's the part of the thing, and then there's clouds above it. So, there we go. So those are the whips. Next is I redid my organization, and did some things. When I first started, and I was printing out PDFs, like especially the Frosted Pumpkin stuff, I was printing out the full PDF, and I didn't need that. So I did a lot of condensing and made it all fit. So, and I'll show you how I organized it. So we've got the Oz charts first, including my entire section of Brooke's books, which are in character order from beginning of the story to the end. The Soda Stitch, Prairie Moon. The Prairie Moons lead straight into the rest of my fairy tale themed ones, which are mostly Soda Stitch. Then we've got my Halloween section, which is all of this. And while I was doing this, I actually found a pattern that I probably should have also included in the Stash Queen's enhancement tag, as a chart that I want to start and haven't, and then what's stopping me would be the Cricket Collection's Sleepy Hollow, which is this one here. The main reason I haven't done it is it requires a full half yard of fabric. Half yards of fabric are expensive. And so that's the main reason, is it's going to take me a half yard of fabric. Alright, so we do the Halloween, then we've got my little smattering of Christmas, which I realize you can't see because the binder is now back down under my lap. There we go. So Christmas. Then we get all of my Brooke's books, which is officially the most prolific designer that I have. Look, Brooke, you get your own section. You're one of very few. Elizabeth's Needle Designs got one. Frosted Pumpkin got one. Hands On Design did, only really because I've got the urine chalk. I've got my Plum Streets. Then my Prairie Schoolers. And then we get the miscellaneous stuff. All here in the back. So, yeah, So I redid the organization, and once again, I forgot that when I hit 20 minutes, my computer likes to go to sleep. But thankfully, it doesn't interrupt the video. So now that's back. Yeah. So, that is that. Now, the last 2 orders of business, one of them is going to be pretty short, one of them is going to be a little less short. I am going out of town a week from yesterday. So 6 days. 6 days until I'm in San Diego. I will try to get a video up on Wednesday before I leave, but I make no promises. So if you don't see me, I'm okay. I'm on vacation. I will be taking with me my Leslie Tier Wizard of Oz, and working on it. So don't be alarmed. So it may be, if I can't get it done Wednesday, then it'll be another week before you get a video from me. But I will try to make it a longer video if it's at all possible. So, that all being said, last night, Jessie Marie, in her latest video, threw down the gauntlet. She did my tag. She said that and my third question, as some of you will probably remember, was, what is one chart you would like to see, and by what designer? Or something to that effect. She wants to see a Wicked one as designed by me. So the gauntlet is officially thrown down. I have been called out by name in a video. I know there are many of you out there who have been encouraging me to start designing myself. The Stash Queen and Kimmy and Angie and several other people. And I've been very, very hesitant. However, in light of this, there have been several ideas that I've been cooking on. I don't want to go into them just yet because I haven't really solidified it. And I think for what I kind of want to do, I'm going to need a finished stitch to show off. So, all I will say for now is that I am planning something. I've done some rough sketching, but nothing completely solid. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But to answer you, Miss Jessie Marie, there is something in the works. So, how is everybody else? Awesome. Awesome. I'll take this moment to take a sip. The problem with glass bottles is I don't know if my mouth is supposed to go around the top or if it's supposed to not. I don't really understand. All right. I'm glad you shared that with me. And I'm sorry I was rude and interrupted about the glass bottle. So, on that note, I will see you all possibly next week. If not, I'll see you in August.